people with ADHD are 5 times more likely to burn out. But that's just a number. It doesn't show us how every single part of life is more difficult because our brains are fighting against every good intention we have. It doesn't show us how every task that's left undone stays in our minds and stops us from relaxing. If we can't let go and relax, we never give our brain and our bodies a chance to rest and repair, and we end up burning out. And then sometimes we stay burned out for years. But I have found a solution to this problem, and it is easier than you would expect to implement. I remember when I reached my limit and I was ready to throw it all away. I was a full-time student, I was working an internship, I was an RA, I had a relationship, and I had friends, and I was trying to balance it all. And the worst part is, I saw other people doing the same thing. They had all the same responsibilities as me, and they were thriving, and I was not. I was ready to throw it all away, and one day I just decided, all right, I have this assignment due tonight. It's worth a very small percentage of my grade. I'm gonna just skip it, and I'm gonna go for a drive. So I did, I went for a drive. And while I was on that drive, I drove wherever I wanted to. I stopped wherever I wanted to, and I listened to whatever music I wanted to. And I just drove until I got bored, and then I went back. And once I got back, I experienced this brand new level of energy. I have never felt that life was so good. I had never felt so much more ready to face tomorrow, and I have never slept so good. All I could think was, I'm going to do this every Sunday. See, it wasn't a simple drive that cured me. It wasn't just driving around. It was the specific combination of enough stimulation that I wasn't thinking about work and everything. It was some novelty, it was following my impulses, and it was doing something out there in the real world instead of on my phone. So the solution I found was take a day off every week, but not the full day necessarily and in a very specific way. For the next several months, I carefully crafted my Sundays to be as restful as possible given my ADHD. This weekly routine, when done right, has caused my perpetual tiredness and my constant burnout to all but disappear. There are 4 main elements to this perfect Sunday: guardrails, preparation, what to actually do, and the most important piece of all. Okay, number 1 is guardrails. Okay, you and I both know that if we do not put any guardrails around our ADHD brains, they go crazy. They either do way too much and overwhelm us and burn us out, or they do nothing at all, and that burns us out too. So we need some guardrails. Here's the guardrails that I use for this. Number 1 is no social media. I do not allow myself to go onto Instagram during these days. I use Brick for that. Hashtag please sponsor me, Brick. But I use Brick to lock my phone up, and so I can't access social media. If I don't, I'll just spend the whole time scrolling, and then I'll feel worse. Number 2 is no work. Now, I'm an entrepreneur, and I do this content, but one rule I have for myself is that I don't work during this time. Even if I have a great idea for a video, I will simply jot the idea down and I'll come back to it later because I'm not working. Work creates stress. No matter how much I might love the work, some stress builds up even when I'm super into it, so I don't work. And number 3, I make these big time blocks that dictate kind of what I do. So the most common one that I use is, 5 to 7 p.m., go outside. What do I do outside? We'll get to that later. But I set up these time blocks of this is the general activity I'm going to do. Maybe one day it's, 3 to 4 p.m. drive. And so I'll just get in my car and I'll go somewhere. Where am I going to stop? I don't know. Another thing I do, these are kind of my 3 big ones. I'll put on a video game soundtrack that I don't ever listen to otherwise, and I'll just walk around my house until I find something that my brain kind of wants to engage with. So that's the 3 guardrails. Now we're going to talk about preparations. This is equally as important as the guardrails. Number 1, I get my chores done early. If I'm going to be doing my rest activity at 4 p.m. on Sunday, every chore I have has to be done before that. If I can't get it done, because let's be real, most of the time I can't, then one of these next preparations really helps with when I can't get it done. Number 2, I don't let myself sleep in too much on these days or any day. I know myself. I'm so groggy and I can't get anything done when I sleep in too late. If I slept until I naturally woke up every day, I'd never get anything done. I cannot function if I don't wake up from an alarm. That's a me thing though. I don't know if you're the same. Number 3, I do not schedule anything during this time or even after this time, because we have this thing with time where if something's coming up, we go into wait mode, I don't schedule anything on that day, during that time, or even after that time that requires me to get ready and leave the house and be somewhere at a certain time. I don't do it. And finally, I make a list of activities that I enjoy doing. These are activities that give me energy, that I once found joy in, maybe I currently find joy in it. These are activities that I enjoy doing that are not scrolling on social media, playing video games, watching TV, something like that. Because if I don't have this list, then what will often happen is I'll just get bored. My brain won't attach itself to anything, and I'll just wander around aimlessly and just be bored all day. I don't get anything done, but I also don't relax because my brain just starts thinking about work, and then I go on social media. So I need this list. This list is important. So now that we have this set up, what do we actually do? And the short answer is whatever your brain wants to do within the guardrails that we set. So when I step outside during my be outside time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was not thinking about what I'm going to do while I put my shoes on. I just put my shoes on and went outside. Now what do I do once I'm out there? Well, whatever my brain wants to do. Sometimes it wants to sit on the back porch and watch a bird. Sometimes I want to pick up sticks in my yard. Yes, that's a chore, but I didn't schedule it. I'm not making myself do it. And if I get tired or bored of it, I drop the sticks and I go do something else. And I don't let myself feel shame for quitting an activity halfway through during this set period of time. If I block some time to listening to a video game soundtrack and my brain decides it wants to rearrange my entire office, my entire recording studio, I'll let it. That's what it wants to do. It's gonna get to do it. If I want to turn the music off and go buy ice cream, I'll go buy ice cream. The list of activities is genuinely helpful when my brain can't attach itself, and so I have to refer to this list and go, oh yeah, I do like doing that, and then I'll go try to do it. Most of the time I don't use the list. When I need the list, I really need the list, but if I don't need it, then it's best not to use it if I don't need it. The most important piece of this, I've already kind of accidentally alluded to it, is that I do not pressure myself into anything during this time. I do not think about work. I do not make myself do chores. I don't even text my friends back. I don't let my wife come to me with new stressful stuff. I've told her this is not a time for that unless it's an emergency. I don't need to produce anything or to be creative. I don't need to do anything. That's the whole point of this. This is a 1 to 3 hour event where I am completely an ADHD person, not trying to mask, not trying to cope, just being an ADHD person. I have spent the whole week beating my brain into submission so I can produce something worth doing, so I can be a productive member of society and do something, but not right now. It needs some freedom. Now, before you dive into this headfirst, there are some pitfalls that you should be aware of, and I have fallen into all of these. So the first one is this can become easily predictable if you just do the same thing every week. Like if my, scheduled weekly reset routine was always to go outside, my brain would stop being interested in it and it would just get bored out there. There'd be nothing left to do. There'd be no more new birds to watch. There'd be nothing new and cool out there anymore. And I would get bored and it would stop becoming effective. And so varying this and keeping it fresh and using some variations is going to help you a lot, especially long term, so that you don't get bored of it. The next thing is to do not shy away from telling your friends. Your friends and your family are going to be the first and most likely people to interfere with this. And so you have to be brave and tell them, I am not available. I need this time. You have to tell them. And then, you know how people are when you set a boundary that they don't understand. You have to uphold that. You have to ignore their phone call. Maybe leave your phone in the house when you go outside. That's what I do most of the time. I just don't take it. Next is you cannot come into this with a bunch of stuff that you have to remember. Like if you're planning on doing laundry after your time outside, then make a note to yourself. Set an alarm on your phone, put a sticky note on your computer screen or something. Do something to remind yourself. Outsource the act of remembering to do the chore. Because if you don't, your brain will be like, gotta remember. And it will follow you all the way through your activity and you will not get the rest that you otherwise could. Lastly, this is the type of thing that can completely disappear when you have a big life transition. I mean, you know how we struggle with routines. Anytime you move, your new morning routine is only what is essential that day. If it's essential to shower because you smell and brush your teeth because your mouth is dry and eat something because you're hungry, then that's going to be your new morning routine. It is based on necessity. But this doesn't feel like a necessity to us, to our brains. It's not something that we think of as urgent and important, and so it's very easy to just completely forget to do it when we have big life transitions, especially if you move, like to a new house or an apartment. This weekly habit of resting on Sundays has been the biggest thing that has helped me beat my ADHD burnout. I would say it's 90% of everything that I do to beat my burnout. This is doing 90% of the work. I'm not exaggerating. This is so important for me. I have to do it. If you can put this into practice, this is going to change your life. And listen, it may not work the first time super well, because you may find that I can't get these things out of my head even when I'm trying to relax. And you may need to try different activities. You may need a different level of stimulation than I do. And you'll have to experiment with different things. Maybe outside plus music is what you need. Maybe you need more of that stimulation. Maybe you need less. Maybe outside is too much. Maybe the sun's too bright and you need to go out later in the evening. Maybe there's too many bugs and you just don't like outside at all. You gotta find the activities that you like to do. This is something that you're gonna have to customize, because I'm not a scientist. I haven't studied this. I haven't made scientific discoveries on this. This is my personal experience. And so if you're going to try this, you have to understand it's gonna take some effort, but oh my gosh, it's worth it. Like I said, this is doing 90% of the work in stopping my ADHD burnout. It is so worth it. Please try it. And after you've tried it, come back to this video and let me know how it worked. If it didn't work at all, I'd love to answer your questions and try to help you, but I think you should try it, and I think it'll change your life. Thanks for watching.